Greetings, Marsher, and welcome to episode 205 of my modded Factorio playthrough. In this episode, we are going to work on expanding brick production with electric furnaces. Enjoy. Looks like it hasn't sent all of the drones out for bricks. So does that mean no bricks are available? More or less, yeah, that seems to be the case. That this thing is just not operating as fast as it could. Wonder what's slowing it down. I mean, a lot of this stuff is not even going at full blast. Of course, that's even set to the wrong thing. Must have picked up a piece of fuel and then tried to bake it. So that needs to be fixed. Not sure if it's faster to fly or teleport. I'll just fly for this one. Okay. Well, actually, one thing we did research was the electric furnaces, and I was thinking, well, we barely use them for anything. Well, this is a situation where we're still using the original furnace. Crafting speed is the same, just produces a third of the pollution, but requires some stone, or the original furnace. And actually, I wonder if we do the filtering furnace, that one will let us select the exact recipe and then not have this problem where basically it got loaded with a piece of fuel and then changed the recipe because some fuels are baked in furnaces. Let's kind of pick some of this up and do some filtering furnaces. Not sure how we'd want to space these. Guess we'll do this for now. Because then we can come in here and say, only make bricks. And at least we won't need fuel for this. We will need it for the other steps, so can't stop that, but we can kind of make this a little simpler. Of course, they take modules, which is always nice. Ooh, and they take productivities as well. That would definitely help. Well, if that's the case, I kind of want to mash a bunch of these in here. We're definitely going to need some stone if we want to make a few more. And let's turn off logistics, because I actually want to keep that stone. So what can we do? Oh, that would be quite alright as far as smashing stuff in here. So we can kind of put these on the ends. Well, we certainly boosted production here. Well, let's see what it looks like with all productivities, and then go from there. Just want to try to max out our setup here. Those cannot take productivities. So these three don't seem to be fast enough. So let's switch out one of them. Actually, what kind of speed is this? Yeah, it's starting to get faster than 15 a second. Well, that seemed to help as far as output. Now these seem like they're a little slow. So first we'll upgrade to blue. Actually, we can just use rate calculator to kind of see what we're going to need, because we need 12.8 per second in, and that produces way more, and they are starting to use all the resources, so probably can just put efficiencies in here now. Well, that's a little faster. Still gonna end up waiting on a lot of this, but that's better. Wonder if there's any other furnaces. I don't know. It's gonna be pretty hard to search the entire factory for, like, the one other situation somewhere where it's being used. But, well, good news is that we seem to be processing ores again. Which means stone. Of course, it's got a backup, and it's making lots of bricks. So there's that. But, oh, well, speaking of things that we can replace with furnaces, we have all of these bricks. We might as well. I mean, what else are we gonna do while we're waiting for resources to catch up? That's gonna be a lot of furnaces, though. Luckily, they're not that expensive to make. But nonetheless, we don't really have enough resources to rebuild that whole thing right now. Might just have to return to it later. It only really saves pollution and fuel. And I guess it does let you use efficiency modules, so that is one thing. So, yeah, we'll try to replace this then. It needs to fit in this blueprint. And I'll go back to the bus so we have ready access to materials. Because, yeah, we're really short on stone. So, as a result, anything we can do to save some stone is probably a good idea. And that includes not spending as much on bricks using productivity modules, so we should try. Well, the setup we want to build is something like this. Let's just put this off to the side and then try to build something that's similar. I guess those actually aren't on the bus though, so they can't completely make it. But we have an idea of its size. And is this probably 30 per second? Yeah, exactly. We could probably fit these in here. 9. Well, and if they were all productivities, how many would 9 make? I guess we need to set the recipe here. Significantly less, as it turns out, with just productivities. So we'll probably have to adjust that. If it's going to fit in the same blueprint, that is. It has a little bit of room to expand, but not really. We can make it a little wider. Well, let's make it 10, because 10 is a nicer number. So we're up to 3.25. So what's that look like? Well, it's a little wider. And it would squeeze in here, but that's about the most we can do. So we're going to have to work with this. Okay. So we need to turn this into 30. Well, kind of like before. Probably switching out one of these productivities for a speed ought to do the trick. And actually we can use the module inserter for this. Electric filtering furnace, where we want it to be 2 and then 1. It's interesting that they came to help. So I probably shouldn't leave this here. Because I don't want it collecting resources that aren't on the network. Although, now that I think about it, one thing we can use it for is getting rid of all these trees. Of which there are many. So now that all the modules are replaced, we can check it again, and hey, 33. So we've kind of got something now. Let's see, how is it set before? The input is on the right, output is on the left. The bot's just busy? I guess so. That they can't get to that. I suppose they will eventually. Well, I kind of want this to be here, so we can kind of get this connected. Is this gonna work like this? Yeah. There we go. Nice and straightforward. Light, light. Copy the same thing over there and here. For the middle, we'll just slightly change how we do the lights. That should be okay. Just take them out. Okay. We've got our setup now. So we'll cut it out. And we can teleport instantly, but the bots can't. Let's see, I guess just unhook it for now. And all of this fuel doesn't need to go. So that whole thing can come with us. It's nice optimizing the factory with electricity and being able to remove all of these things that need fuel. I guess blocks aren't on here? They might not be because we pick them up sometimes. It would be kind of annoying if the bots got rid of them. Deconstruct. Put down our new one. It should just barely kind of fit in here. Looks like this is the center. And I think this will work fine with some slight modifications. But it just squeezes in there. So we got to put this here and hook it up to a wire, same way those are, and maybe put a distance changing inserter in here. There we go. That one's set up. Then eventually all those should get power. The robots finally get here, and they're making it slowly. Then input. Looks like they're red, but they don't really need to be. Hey, we're starting to get little bursts of landfill again. Because stone's catching up finally. In part probably because we're not making any bricks. And we could probably leave this for now. The robots are on the way. It's just going to take them a while. They had to place them first before they could come by with the modules, but they'll get here. And then the efficiency of this will improve. So that's looking pretty good. A small improvement. But we can use anything we can get right now. Because we need stone. And we are at the point where we're starting to make resources again. Looks like we're almost maxed out on copper though, which is interesting. So, we should be getting stone. We just need to keep using resources here. And it looks like, while we were setting that up, all these got up to 200. So it's just the last one that hasn't been set up correctly yet. So we just need to do this one. Take out the first here. Put it back. Well, it seems to be running. Of course, there are many other things we could make here. Hydro plants, we do use enough of them. And the problem with the hydro plants is you might think, well, they're not that hard to make. Well, the problem is, you see, each one of these requires 48 pipes. So if we wanted to make hydro plant 3, we need to do 48 pipes times 3 for these tiers, for each one of them. The clarifier uses 33. Salinization plant uses a few. The washing plants use a few. Haven't used the sluicer yet, so I don't think we need to worry about that. And electric boilers are kind of annoying, but we just don't make that many of them, so I don't think we need to worry about those. But certainly hydro plants, clarifiers, and well, salinization, they're annoying, but we don't make that many of them. And it is just 24 pipes. But hey, we might be in a situation where we need a ton of them. Because in the past, we have built quite a few of them. Like for this electrolyzing setup for chlorine. So it's not like we haven't ever done that. Okay. Well, we can keep going to the left, but I kind of don't want to. Because I don't want the bots to have to travel farther. Plus, we have all these set up already, so we can just kind of take advantage of this. And pile everything down here. Let's grab this, but not copy the chest. And maybe extend the lines of parking spaces down. to give them even more choices. So we need 3, and then 2, and then 1 and 1. So we can do our 2. And as far as 1 and 1, how about right there? So hydroplant 1. Number 2. Number 3. And the associated filters. Make sure these numbers are good. They seem to be. And then this one. Washing plant 1. Into washing plant 1. And washing plant 2. Looks like the wire didn't get connected on that one. There we go. And then clarifier. Let's do right here. And, you know, 50 is probably just fine. I don't think we need an absolute ton of clarifiers. And actually, even washing plants. We don't use that many of them, and they're pretty big buildings. I'd be curious how many washing plants are even in the factory. Probably not that many. Like, there's only 21 of the tier 3s. Like 69 nice clarifiers in there. And 117, so... yeah. These other machines here are used in very large quantities, but water purification, not as much. And what about the washing plants, though? Because those tend to be used in fairly large quantities, although we only have 43 of tier 1 and 124 of tier 2. So, honestly, 50 of them is probably going to be fine, and we can just up it if we have to. So we got our 50 clarifiers in here. And then got to connect that wire. The salination plants as well, 50. Kind of worried that we're not producing stone as fast as I was expecting to after doing all this stuff, but we needed to do it anyway. I was just putting it off because I wanted to get circuits done, but since we're out of resources, we kind of have to do this, or do something similar to this to get our resources back. So, I don't terribly mind. It's nice seeing this giant pile of machines get smaller. Oh, and we could do algae farms too. Those have a lot of pipes in them. And we could also do a ton of research. I really didn't want to, because I don't like researching things that aren't relevant to what we're currently working on. Okay, we had our algae farms, which do use tons and tons of pipes. And iron plates. Those ones use iron plates too. So definitely need to make some of those, but just grab this whole thing, fit it in a slot. So we need to do iron. Does that mean we need iron pipes? Yes. Okay. Well, it could be something similar to this, just going the other direction. And we can just switch it to iron here. Okay, and then this one can be algae farm number 1. Number 2. And number 3. And we do make a bunch of algae farms, so 200. It's a good number for that. Okay, the iron came in here. Making some pipes. Keeping it on hand. Might want to make these buffers larger, just because they're not producing that fast because of the productivity modules. So this would prevent them from sending drones from farther away if we had a larger buffer in there. And it uses resources. I think the pipes will be okay though, since they're speed modules in there. Okay, well, let's look for algae farms. There we go. We got all the tiers in there. Oops. I extended the range of the bot network and that got too close. So these first tiers can just be set up automatically. Well, the situation we could be running into could be that just making buildings is stone negative because they all require bricks of some sort. Whereas anything else we were making that doesn't use bricks would not be consuming all our stone, because even after making all this stuff, we're still not collecting any stone. You can even see that we've basically run out of them. Looks like it's evening out here, so we can get everything else set up. And it's not like we're not consuming resources. We're certainly trying. Just doesn't seem like this is going to be a good solution. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to generate mud in order to make our landfill manually. The slightly better news is that now that we added all of these washing plant 2s, and actually we probably want this to be at 200, because they can get pretty big. Now we can make a whole bunch of them without having to do any handcrafting. So it's only some of the machines we need in our factory. So I don't want to keep going down this path for now, because I really want to get those green circuits done. But at least a lot of the machines we need are now ready to go. Just look at that. We're trying to make stone. It's just not happening. So we need to make a setup for it. But that's going to have to wait till the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.